Welcome to the Holding Priority Podcast, the Magic the Gathering Seed Age podcast. I'm Cardboard Cryptid.
I'm the Gaming Ghost.
On today's episode, we'll discuss every card in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set.
All of the cards this is all of them?
Yeah, it's all of them. So we spoiler alert, we pulled 30, and it's the main set, the commander set, and then the team up set. There's 3 sets, but all in all, 30 cards we're gonna go over.
And it's the rest of them are just reprints, is what?
Well, there's quite a few reprints, but we're only going over the 30 that were even mentionable as CDH.
Okay.
If you're somebody that doesn't want to just open them for the joy of opening them, you could probably skip this set. I think there's enough stuff in this set that even in the stuff that we put in the commander, start really good, cards. Even those are kind of this is an option, but it's not like your deck won't run without them.
I do think it's more geared towards the pre-release.
I think the draft will be fantastic.
Yeah.
Draft sealed. These cards all have a lot of not trying to be punny, but flavor, because there's a lot of food and pizzas, and all the art's really fun. The cards all kind of do very unique things, but the unique things that they do, not necessarily CDH playable. We're going to go with the format that we did last time, where we have all the cards that we think you'll actually see up front, and then we'll kind of go over the commanders, because there is a commander deck, and then the optional we think are fun cards that we want to highlight will be at the end. That way, if you just want the meat and potatoes, it's right up front, and hopefully you leave the episode playing in the background so that we get our time in. Please don't dip halfway through, but if you want to, there's that option, because you guys asked for it, so we're going to do it. And yeah, before we get into it, let's go to the shuffle up, since we're already talking about algorithm stuff. It's almost there.
I was excited. I thought I wasn't going to go.
Oh yeah. Now, I've been testing it beforehand, and it's on a hair trigger beforehand, and then something happens. I've been updating the app too. I don't really know, but I know this is one of the favorite parts of everybody's podcast experiences. Will the shuffle sound happen on time?
It's mine.
Yeah.
I live it live every day.
Yeah. So from last time, the tournament recap, you guys seem to really like that. We got a lot of comments on our Discord, on YouTube. It did pretty well in the algorithm, so thank you. We got quite a bit of new followers. If you're a new follower, just a reminder, we do have a Discord. It's in our link tree. Our link tree is in the description of every YouTube video, podcast. Kind of just shows you where our Mox fields are, where our social medias are, link to the Discord. Discord we're pretty active in. Anytime there's a tournament, I try to make sure to live tweet my matches. It's usually just a picture of all the commanders and then how I did, whether win or tie. We did a tournament 2 days ago as of filming.
Yep.
Yeah, we did a tournament 2 days ago as of filming, and I went undefeated on Dina the Steeper, which is not a CDH commander. So that was pretty cool. I did lose to Ghost in top 10, as always happens, but at least one of us went. Usually it's we get matched up and then we both dagger each other and neither of us goes. So at least one of us won.
I was glad to see my opportunity, and I took it.
Yeah.
If I could, but I ended up losing once. And I think mine was 1 win, 1 loss, 2 draws.
Yeah, mine was 2 wins, no losses, 2 ties. And one of the tie games, there were 3 Dranis. So that I was the best poised to win, but there was also an op agent. 3 Dranis and an op agent, that's a tie. We can play it out for 80 minutes, but it's a tie. But yeah, it was fun. Just a small local shop, but I did drop it in the Discord. Probably not something that we'll cover on the actual podcast at large. But if you like that stuff, our Discord's there. We also do spell table games intermittently. We do have real lives where we have to work, unfortunately, but if the podcast does well, maybe not.
I would love to travel and go to all these tournaments.
Oh yeah, if I could do the podcast full time, we'd be spell tabling like multiple times a week.
Every day.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about every day, but pretty close.
And then just a reminder, we're going over cards. If you are watching this video and you're kind of on the fence about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you're like, oh boy, these guys convinced me to pick up this card, or oh, I really like this card, I'll pick up a couple packs. It really helps us if you click our TCG player link. Like, it helps us a lot. Even if you're just like, oh, hey, I kind of want to look at these cards on TCG player, and you don't buy anything, that helps us. And then if you do buy something, it's no cost to you, and it's a big help to us because it lets TCG player know that we're sending people over. And once TCG player knows that we're sending people over, maybe we can get some sponsored podcasts or something like that. And I could guarantee you the shuffle up would be a lot quicker if it was sponsored.
Oh, yeah. So just kind of a funny thing about Cryptid and putting it at the top of your browser, because I did that. And
yeah, we can't do that, it turns out.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I remember thinking, oh, this is the time that I should.
Yeah.
I literally bought a bunch of cards yesterday, and I was like, that would be great.
Yeah. No, I found out you can, because you don't own the account, but I had it. I was living as I preached, and I did the same thing where I bookmarked it. So every time that I went to TCG Player and clicked the bookmark, it would be through our link. And then I got a warning that I can't do that. So,
that's funny.
Yeah, I was just like, uh-oh.
I did flash out a few of my cards. I'm looking forward to it. I got like 11 cards coming in.
Yeah. I mean, last weekend we also both got prizes, so it was kind of a free weekend for us.
Yeah.
I pulled a redirect foil, like redirect lightning foil from the stuff I got. So I got double my value that I got in store credit. So like that was a free weekend for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now I did spend it on cards, but I mean, I was going to spend it on cards anyway.
Yeah, I've got a tab at the local shop.
Yeah. Yep. And now that we plugged everything, just, if you're on YouTube, please comment, like, subscribe. Until we get to 500 subscribers, you can't hype it. That was a error from last time. Thank you guys for pointing it out. I just knew it was a new thing. I didn't really know how it worked, but yeah, we got to get to 500 subscribers to use the hype button. And then if you set the podcast to auto download, that helps us out a ton. Also, if you like the podcast, if you could review it 5 stars or highest rating on your podcast network of choice, that helps us go out to a lot more people. Thank you. I think that's it. So let's get into the cards.
We didn't have any comments.
We did. It was about the hype.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you. So just a reminder on the card rating scale. I don't think, let's just not use force of will this time. There's not enough cards, but
yeah, there's maybe 2, and I think we'll just flip a coin on which one.
Yeah. So the card rating scale, we do 1 to 5. 1 is I just think it's neat. 2 is put it aside for later. 3 is might see some play. 4 is I know this will go in a certain deck. And then 5 is this will be a strong add in any color deck the card can be run in. So like Wheel of Fortune is a 5, but some other staple like Tainted Pact would be a 4, because like Tainted Pact doesn't really go in every black deck.
Yeah, I could see.
It absolutely goes in blue-black decks. So
yeah, I could see that.
That's our scale. And then also with the commanders, which we did separate out this time, it's just 1 to 5, and there's no really rating on those. It's just how cool or fun or playable do we think it is on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. All right, let's get into these cards. So Krang the All-Powerful, 4 generic blue legendary artifact creature, Ultram Robot. If a player drawing a card causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, this ability triggers an additional time, or that ability triggers an additional time. When a player draws their second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Krang. It's a 3/3. So that will trigger twice because of Krang. So it'll immediately go from a 3/3 to a 5/5, and it's when a player. So that also counts yourself, and his initial trigger also counts itself. This will be. I also didn't say this, but this will be audio friendly. If you're not on YouTube, we read the cards. We say the name at the beginning and the end. I know a lot of y'all listen to it to get the set down, so just double confirmation. Audio friendly. But Krang the All Powerful, pretty cool. Let's say you have Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmaster will trigger twice. Fairy Mastermind, trigger twice. Unagi in Kennen, trigger twice. Consecrate Sphinx, trigger twice.
I am considering it in Kennen. I don't know. I think it pushes what the initial deck is trying to do, because I'm not necessarily big flips. So, but all of my big flips, other than Hullbreaker, this does help. So, I mean,
Smothering Tithe.
Well, I can't run it. Well, I do copy it. So
yeah. Yeah, I feel like it plays with a lot of good CDH staples. I can't really say that 5 would be playable in other decks outside of Kennen. And the thing is, this is not a human, so you can flip into it, like you were saying.
So, rereading it again, if a player, so it's universal.
Counts yourself, yeah.
But other players too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be great.
If a player drawing a card causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want them to have it. Yeah. That's not good.
No, yeah. So it's universal, but you're the only one that can benefit based on the wording.
Okay, yeah.
So you get 2 treasures from Smothering Tithe, you get 2 Fairy Mastermind triggers, 2 Orcish Bowmaster triggers, like...
To be fair, I haven't really took my eyes off of the art.
It's cool. Yeah.
I am a Ninja Turtle enthusiast. I love it.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles was big, just started to get big whenever I was a kid. And I remember that was my parents oh, he's not a toddler anymore, because I was playing with blocks, and then all of a sudden I was just like, Ninja Turtle. And they were like, okay, he's not a toddler anymore. He's a little boy that wants to beat things up.
I do think Magic kind of hits a special place in our heart when they do some stuff like this. So
I've also known Ghost since we were 5, so I can guarantee at some point we were like, well, we're the Ninja Turtles, and I'm the orange one, and you're like, no, I want to be the orange one.
To be fair, Raphael, which is red, and Donatello were kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
Mikey was just a little bit too much for me, but
he was too angsty. Yeah.
But I like those two.
Yeah. And then the other one was a nerd, and we beat up nerds.
Wait, that's Donatello, man. I love Donatello.
Nerds. We beat up nerds as we have a Magic podcast.
But no, I think this card has a lot of potential, getting off of the tangent. But I think another thing to kind of note if you're listening is that this is an artifact creature. So Urza.
Yeah. It's very relevant everywhere except the 5 cost. Yeah.
If it was a 3 or 4, this would be bananas. And even if it was a 1/1.
Yeah. And we didn't put this in the commander slot just because I don't think a mono blue double card draw commander does anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Maybe. I mean, that would probably be tier 3, tier 4. But yeah, this is in the 99. I believe the shell icon is the commander set. So I do think if you buy the commander deck, you just get this. And then if you're not into the commander products, you will have to get it as a single, which cough, TCG player, our link, cough. But
yeah, it's always there.
Yeah. I'm going to rate this a 3. I just think it might see some play. If it costs anything but 5, I would be a lot more hyped on it, but the 5 cost is really hard.
I do agree. The only time I thought about it was a flip, and then meh.
Yeah, I think Kennen's really the only one that could get away with dropping a 5 cost, because it's 4 generic and a blue, which is pretty playable in Kennen, but I mean, Blue Farm isn't paying 5 for, a 3/3, no keyword attacker. Yeah.
This is also something that people aren't going to counter normally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see somebody being like,
It does trigger Crom for you twice, though.
yeah.
Well, if a player... No, because Crom is whenever they play 2 spells, so it doesn't trigger Crom twice.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's why I left it out. I was like... I started second guessing myself, and I was like, no, you get to draw, but the trigger is off of spells. Yeah.
I think a 3 is a very solid place to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have this in your collection, maybe put it aside somewhere.
Oh, yeah. It's going
to go somewhere eventually. I think it's good.
Yeah, I had to buy a bigger box from my CDH staples because there's so many, but like whenever I make decks, I have so many options at my fingertips now. So it's nice. Like I don't regret. I was putting them just in a bundle box, and then I was like, okay, I've got more than a bundle box now. So.
I agree. I still have multiple bundle boxes.
Yeah, and then I might read the flavor text on all these because I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I read it 3 times.
Yeah, I'm Krang, the all-powerful. I have never been defeated. Like that's awesome.
I can hear his voice from the cartoon.
Yeah, I'm not going to do voices, but
No,
yeah.
I can hear it in my head.
Yep, that is a 3 for Krang, the all-powerful. This next one is Ninja Pizza, 2 generic and a green enchantment. Foods you control have tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. At the beginning of your second main phase, create a food token. This basically turns all of your foods into treasures for 3. It's kind of a win more card, but I mean it's super cool. Like just on its own, it's 3. If there was a card that was like an enchantment for 3 that said at the beginning of your second main phase, create a treasure token, I think that would be fine, and this is green and combos with Cabbage Man to where you can one-shot every food you make instead of just accumulating.
So I would say that this is a 5 hypothetically if Cabbage Man ever becomes a like a CEDH like top contender.
Mm-hmm. In the command zone.
Yeah. As a commander.
Yeah, I've seen. So if you're in the Discord, I was very interested in making that a commander, and I tried a couple things, and it just didn't come together. With this set, I think you could do a little bit more stuff. We'll look at a couple other cards that play around food, but I did see that Academy Manufacturer and Nuka-Cola Machine goes infinite. Because not to keep plugging Play to Win, but they talked about they went against somebody in a tournament that was doing command zone or doing Cabbage Man in the command zone, and Nuka-Cola Machine and Academy Manufacturer was like the win con somehow. I don't really remember, but I just remember being like, "Oh, somebody tried it, yay!" Like, so I'm gonna try to find that deck and put it in the Discord at some point if I can find it. But I think we're getting to the point where like other people might just be like, hey, maybe we try, Cabbage Man. It is a mono green, which mono green kind of fails lately in the commander slot. But I mean, when you have so many good food cards and, so many green cards printed, maybe. Yeah.
This is, if that was it would be a 5. However,
yeah. Well, it'd be a 4.
Oh yeah. Cause it's not every day. It'd be a solid 4. For here, I think that this is good to know that it exists because, I mean, it makes some treasures. Like,
yeah, and not to be like keep talking about Dina, but like a big part of Dina is gaining life and having foods available. So if I ever land Consecrate or not Charismatic Conqueror, the 5-cost vampire that is Sanguine Bond. It's Conqueror something.
It's the Exquisite.
Yeah. It's Exquisite on a creature, and it and Dina combo as long as you gain life or an opponent takes a damage.
If you wouldn't have said or asked it, I'd have been like, oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. I mean, I played it several times, but I mean, a big part of that deck is, hey, maybe I keep a food around and I can just immediately trigger that effect. Because if anybody goes like, oh, well, we'll target Dino with this or this, I can just be like, okay, cool. On top of all of you guys' interaction, I'll crack a food and I'll gain life. Even though I play foods pretty heavily, it's a backup, and I would not play this. So I would have to give this a 2. I think it is put aside for later. It's really cool though, and there's also like a couple of things that work with it to where like maybe it wouldn't be so bad if you went really heavy on the foods, but I mean, really any typal deck for the most part, because it limits your card selection, is always going to be kind of tier 4, not necessarily tier 5. I think Magda's the only typal deck that like actually rolls tournaments. So
I was gonna say 2 as well. I think 2 is
yeah,
exactly. I mean, this is more than neat because it does a lot.
yeah,
It's not necessarily one of those has a fit yet,
yeah,
but I think it will soon.
yeah.
And I did get kind of I got curious and I looked it up, but it's Bloodthirsty Conqueror.
Bloodthirsty Conqueror, yeah. And then just flavor text: the pizza that vanishes quickly without a trace.
Love it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I like that it's playable on its own. Like if you have no synergy with foods, 3 for a treasure on every second main phase is not bad. Honestly, maybe like Jund, Rayhan, Dargo could play this just because it would sack things easy. But yeah, I'd have to give it a 2. The fact that we've talked about too much means it is somewhat playable. Just not really sure where, but I'll give it a 2 for Ninja
honestly,
Pizza.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's playable yet.
Yeah,
I think it's almost there.
it's fringe for sure. All right, 2 for Ninja Pizza. Next one, Leonardo Cutting Edge, 1 generic and a white legendary creature. Mutant Ninja Turtle is its typing. Sneak for white. So I'll read Sneak this time, but I won't read it just to save time next. So you may cast the spell for white if you also return an unblocked attacker you control to hand during the declare blocker's step. He enters tapped and attacking. Lifelink, whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Leonardo. So we have seen Heliod Ballista combos, and we haven't seen them much lately because at the end of the day, you have to play Heliod, which, I mean, usually it's like a command zone. Previously, it was a command zone card. So it was like 2 and a white for Heliod, 1 and a white to give something lifelink, and then you had to bring out Walking Ballista for 4 because it had to have 2 counters on it. Otherwise, you would ping the counter off and then it would immediately die due to state-based actions. So it was a good combo, but it was an expensive combo. This one cuts out the 9, I believe, mana that you would need for it, but you have to put in Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So Leonardo Cutting Edge with Agatha's Soul Cauldron out and Walking Ballista in the graveyard, you put the 1/1 counter on Leonardo. Leonardo pops something for 1. You lifelink off of it. When you gain a life, you get another one, and you just like bullet down the table.
I'm sorry. Does if Leonardo had 1, because it gives you 1 when you gain life, put a counter. Okay.
So if you sneak it in and he hits, you immediately get that counter.
And then you win.
But Agatha's puts a counter on him whenever you exile Walking Ballista anyway.
And Agatha's, and again, I haven't played it in a minute, but even if there's no counters on it, once a counter hits, those abilities come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Agatha says any creatures with counters on them immediately have this ability.
Okay.
And it imprints it on Agatha's. So let's say like you have a 1/1 counter on Leonardo and someone, gets crafty and they stifle it and you take the counter away. The next time Leonardo would gain a counter, which he himself gains a counter whenever you gain life, but he has lifelink, so he will give himself that counter when he attacks. But it's also any time you gain life. It's not when Leonardo causes you to gain life. So you could crack a food and then be like, "We're back on, boys."
Whenever you gain life. Oh,
yeah.
that's yeah.
You could play a land that gains you a life and put a 1/1 counter on them. It's pretty good. The sneak aspect is good for 1. You could play a bunch of 0 drops on your first turn and then second turn Leonardo. I'm not I'm not trying to say this is a CDH commander. It's not in the commander slot, but it takes a well-known CDH combo and cuts the mana cost down significantly to where you're only paying 4 for it instead of 9, but it does involve an extra card. It's not just Leonardo Walking Ballista. It's Leonardo Walking Ballista and Agatha's Soul Cauldron. But this is also a legendary, so like it can go in the 99. I'm not going to say Sisse cares about it, but any deck that already runs Agatha's Soul Cauldron will probably be like, well, maybe I just throw Leonardo in. Like I could see Najila being like, well, it's kind of hard to get through lately. Maybe I'll have Leonardo. I'll add Leonardo in because he's a pretty good attacker. I can sneak him in. And then at the end of the day, if I have him, Agatha's and Walking Ballista out, they combo off and I win. Yeah. Well, you don't need Walking Ballista out. It needs to be in the graveyard. But the thing about Walking Ballista is you can play it for 0 and it immediately goes to the graveyard.
I do think that this could be. I think you're going to see this. Somebody's going to build this. Like it's getting built.
Yeah.
And being that it's as a commander, going to get built. It's playable. It's got a very not really sneaky win, pun intended.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah, and just to really talk about sneak on commanders, you are casting it, so it's not ninjutsu. So like you do still have to pay the 2 if he dies. So you can't play him for white and a colorless and then have him die and then sneak him out for the rest of the game.
That's true.
Like you do have to pay the commander to cast commander cost because it is a cast, not a put. I just would really question how white would keep up. Like I know that Oswald is a really good deck.
I was thinking that too.
But a white attacking deck that, I mean, to be fair, the things that you have to tutor up are both artifacts, which you could enlighten tutor, and then there's the sorcery speed tutor. There's a lot of ways to go get those things in the color that you're in. So like it would be consistent. I mean, you could also have Oswald in the 99, or this could be a win con in Oswald in the 99. You know?
I think it's interchangeable.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I think we'll see it, but I would have to give it a 3 as a might. I wouldn't say it's a 4 or 5. Just I think a 3 for Leonardo Cutting Edge is pretty fair.
I think it's a really high 3.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you will see it get played. I think that it's not going to be. I think when it sits down at a table to play, you'll be like, oh.
There were
oh, no.
2 cards that I really saw discussed a lot on social media, and this was one of them. People weren't as excited as this one, but if I had to say what 2 cards people are most excited about in the set, I would say this is one of them. So it would be worth pick. If you see this and you're like, I really like it, pick it up, because I do think if it's a reasonable cost, I would say pick it up through our TCG player link. But I think this will be long-term viable. It's also just a rare, so like, you know, it you'll probably get it at a pre-release. Like
yeah, and it's playable in a pre-release too.
Yeah.
So you're probably playing this if you get it. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 is solid. I would almost argue 4, but it's just not good enough.
Yeah. I maybe I should have put this in the commander slot, but I don't know. Like building a mono white commander that has to get in seems not great
A
in
little
the
rough,
tournament. Yeah. That is a 3 for Leonardo Cutting Edge. And next we have Leonardo's Technique. So it's a 3 generic white sorcery. It has Sneak, which, I mean, Sneak lets you cast it at instant speed, I guess, but only during your own combat. So it's kind of weird. So at the cost of returning an attacker that's unblocked to your hand, you can return 1 or 2 target creature cards, each with mana value 3 or less, from your own graveyard to the battlefield. We were kind of talking about this one when we saw it. Really, it's kind of cool because you can sack Ranger Captain, get it back, you know, get get your ETB again, along with another creature. You could fail a Thassa or mill a Thassa and then swing in, play it, return Thassa. It does target, so it doesn't just immediately like return both like Lively Dirge does. Lively Dirge is not a target, so people can't really interact with it. But the fact that you can get 2 creature cards with 6 mana value between them, 3 and 3 for 2, seems pretty good. How those creatures got there to the graveyard to begin with, I don't really know outside of Ranger Captain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would give this a 2. I don't think it goes in Blue Farm. I don't think it really does anything crazy. I think it's playable, but I mean, I would never pay 4 for it.
No, I don't think you pay 4.
And then, you know, like you were saying, ad nos decks probably don't want to run this at all. Yeah, because it costs 4.
The 4 is I mean, like most cards, they mana value it to where it's more balanced. This would be really, I don't think it'd be a staple at 1 or 2, but I think it would be.
Yeah.
I think if it was 2 and sneak for 1, be a little bit crazy, but
yeah, I think the problem is always how do those creatures get into your graveyard in a CDH game in white? Like I can answer that in black, like, you know,
yeah,
but
that's true.
it seems like you kind of always need to have some type of entomb effect, so it really only goes in a white black deck, and then on top of it, like even those decks don't always completely focus on that. I mean, what was the Ether Drift god that was white black, that whenever things leave your graveyard,
Ketramos.
yeah, Ketramos, when things leave your graveyard you draw. Maybe Ketramos is excited about this, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe Lotho. I know Lotho does combos with creatures.
I think it's a very strong ability. I think there's uses for it. I do not know. I think this is more of a 2 in my opinion. Maybe,
Yeah.
And it's on the verge of neat.
Yeah, if someone could like be like, oh hey, I run this and I run Lotho, I'm just excited about this, or like I run Ketramos and I'm excited about this, like I would get it, but I don't see it, so I would give it a 2, put it aside for later.
Yeah, I also haven't played white in a while, so
Yeah,
if you want to leave it in the comments and be like, Ghost, you're just wrong. This is it.
I'd
be cool with that.
A 2 for Leonardo's technique, and the flavor text is "That's right, eyes on me."
Yeah.
We have Donatello's technique next. It's 2 generic and a blue. It's a sorcery. You can sneak it for blue, so at the cost of sending a unblocked attacker, you get to draw 2 cards for blue. Which I was thinking about this for Blue Farm, but like, would you just rather have the Timna trigger? Like, is this worth a slot? I don't think so.
Well, Timna gives you 1. This will give you 2.
And then you don't have to pay the life, like, and then you get the ETB effect of the creature again, if that's relevant.
I think the ETB is probably where it's at, because you pick it up, put it back down.
Yeah.
This could also be something with Displacer Kitten.
Yeah, or like Rogsai, like, or not Rogsai. Rogsai, because Rog will swing. You draw 2 cards. Rog costs 0. You replay it, like, because Rog has Menace, so Menace he's probably getting through.
Yeah.
So I can see this in Rog, Sai, Rog, Thras. I think this will be the most playable technique that we have, but I really think it's just Rog decks are like, oh well, now Rog not only turns on my free spells, but I can swing Rog, draw 2 cards. He comes back in untapped. So if you have a card that says tap a permanent for, like, if you have well, no, because you would have to tap it to attack. Yeah, I mean, just recurring the ETB seems good, and then like on another creature, and then Rog is kind of always a free attacker. He's gonna get through somewhere, and then you just put him back down for 0.
For this one, honestly, I would think that it's put it aside for later card, like a 2. And I would probably I would also mention you're probably going to get one of these because
Yeah,
this is an uncommon.
Yeah, I would give it a 3 just because I do see it being a very good option in Rogsai. I wouldn't give it a 4. Like, I don't think every single Rogsai pilot is like chomping at the bit to like take a card out and put this in, but the fact that you can draw 2 cards for blue and refill your hand after you've like burnt out is pretty good.
The problem I have with your Rogsai interest is that Rogsai is a heavily like black draw cards type of deck, which all cost life.
Yeah.
Necropotence doesn't necessarily care about this, but Adnos will care about this.
Oh yeah, that's 3.
There's no way you cast this for 3.
Yeah,
you
never,
cast this for 1.
Maybe Rogthras then. Just sneak for blue, replay it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because they play Relic of Legends, so you would still be able to tap.
Also, they play Cloud of Fairies.
Oh, that's true, yeah. And that's a flyer. Yeah. So yeah, I see it there. Maybe Dogthras because of that.
I think anyone that uses Cloud of Fairies is
Yeah.
probably going to be one that would. I think you would love. A lot of times, it's not that you can't cast Cloud of Fairies again. It's that you can't put it back to your hand.
Yeah.
And this would give you a way to do that. And then you Cloud of Fairies, get your. I think that combo in and of itself, I agree with you now. It's a 3.
Imagine putting Cloud of Fairies back to your hand and then you draw 2 cards and one of those is Snap. Like,
oh, yeah.
You're just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. That's a 3 for Donatello's technique. Flavor text, I'll need my bag of tricks.
I love Donnie.
Fugitive droid, single blue, artifact creature, robot scientist. This creature can't be blocked if an artifact enters the battlefield under your control this turn. Blue, sacrifice this creature, counter target spell that targets an artifact or creature you control. It is a 1/1. This one I probably could have snuck into the kind of cool cards at the end of the podcast, but it was kind of slim pickings on things to talk about, so I upgraded it. It's cool. I think Urza really likes this because you put it down. At any point, you can tap it for blue and sacrifice it, and it keeps something safe. And it fully counters the spell. It doesn't just give hexproofs, which is relevant. The other thing is, I don't think Timna Crom Blue Farm would run this. But there's a lot of people that are running Memnite. And I don't know if you upgrade this to from Memnite, but like Fugitive Droid pretty much is going to get in by the time you drop Timna. Like, you're probably going to be able to drop a Mox Amber or something like that. And then it gets in and it's a free draw. It's 2 types for things that care about how many types that you have in the graveyard. I know a lot of decks care about turning on their, was it Mox Opal that needs Middlecraft?
Yeah.
So like if you play the blue artifact land, this and Mox Opal, you turn on your Mox Opal. I know a lot of people run the white artifact land purely because if they have that and Esper Sentinel and Mox Opal, you get your Mox Opal turned on right away. I don't know if this guy is good enough to do that, but
I think that for Urza, and we have a local Urza player that I might ask about. I probably should have asked him about this, but I do think that for Urza, this states pay 1, cast this creature. You can tap the creature, pay 1, sacrifice this creature because you don't have to tap it.
yeah.
So. Well, protect Urza.
Yeah. So like play it for blue. The external tap from Urza can tap it right away, even though it's a creature. And then you can, it's kind of like having a, was it Mother of Runes in blue for Urza? I know our local Urza player, which, I mean, if you're in the Discord, we've probably spell tabled with him and you before. they're really excited about. Like this set alone was like, I'm rebuilding Urza. He's CDH playable again, which I mean is cool. You know, like
You'll hear Urza a lot in this.
yeah. That being said, I'll give this one a 3. It's cool. I wouldn't say it's a 4. I don't know if you care about protecting Urza when you're mono blue.
I want to say 4.
Yeah.
But again, I don't play Urza enough. I do think that this is a very viable option for Urza.
Yeah. And I mean, also the fact that you can now go like play my artifact land, play Fugitive Droid, play my Mox Opal. My Mox Opal's on, play something else. Like, pretty good.
It is a ritual.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, rituals give you more mana.
It's a cantrip.
This is a cantrip.
Yeah.
I like it. I think 4 if I knew more about Urza. I think it's a 3 for sure.
Yeah. I'll give it a 3.5 in total for Fugitive Droid. A freak accident transferred Professor Honeycutt's mind into his robot assistant. Blamed for his own death, he fled as a fugitoid.
I do like that in the background is the Triceratops guys.
Yeah.
I can't think of their name, and if you're a true Ninja Turtle fan, you probably should.
There was a white card that gave all of your dinosaurs flying and made dinosaur tokens, and it was X white, and I really had to stop myself from putting it in this because I would have just been like, you know why it's in here? It's a dinosaur. It makes dinosaurs. I didn't put it in here, but I really wanted to. But yeah, that's a 3.5 for Fugitive Droid.
I was like,
Okay. Well, what card is missing?
I was like, oh no, we're done.
None. There was just an empty card for some reason. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, weird. Good to know though. So honestly, this is the second card that everybody was going crazy about, and for good reason. This is a common that you'll get in your pre-release. It's called Sewer Valence Cam. Blue artifact flash. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature. 3 generic blue, sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards. This just combos off with everything. Banishing Knack on a artifact creature in Urza makes you go mana positive because it's a enters and leaves the battlefield, and it itself is an artifact. I'll have to look up the name of the goblin. I think it's Welder Goblin. Goblin Welder. It's a 1 red summon goblin, exchange target artifact a player controls for target artifact in that player's graveyard. So as long as you have a mana rock, you bring this in, you untap the goblin, you tap the goblin. When it leaves the battlefield, you untap the goblin. You bring your Arcane Signet out, you tap your Arcane Signet. Now that the goblin's untapped, you crack it again. Get your Sewer Surveillance Cam in. It entering makes it untap. You sacrifice it. It leaving makes it untap. Like it's stupid. They should know not to put these like twiddle effects on permanents, and they did. So, and the fact that this also has a mana outlet. Like when you go infinite in Urza, you just win the game, and you can pretty quickly get this out with Urza. There's a lot of people that are like, even with a very generous hand that just lands Soul Ring, you can get Urza out and win by turn 3 with this card. Like,
silly.
Yeah, it's basically like if you have this and a Soul Ring in your opening hand, and you're playing Urza, you win. Like
it's kind of cool because it's pay 4 to sacrifice this artifact.
Yeah.
When it comes out, it's pay 3 in Urza.
Yeah. Well, also like in all of those loops, instead of sacking it, you can just get to the point where you're like, well, now that I have infinite mana, I'll just pay 4 and sacrifice and start drawing cards, and like you do have to figure out a way to get it back on the field with the goblin at that point, but like, the goblin returns an artifact anyway, so like,
yeah, you're in infinite mana. I mean, at that point, you just, because you would have to have Urza.
Well,
to a degree,
yeah. So any blue-red deck has a loop,
I'm sorry,
and then Urza itself is like it. yeah, it's stupid. Like I'll just leave it at that. It's stupid. Like,
So do you think that this is a 4?
yes.
With Urza?
5, because it goes off so crazy. I mean, like, I can't look at this and say Blue Farm is making a slot for it, so it's not 5, but it's a 4. If you run an Izzet deck, you're probably kind of looking at slotting this and the Goblin in, because then you just get infinite mana, and you want something with a mana dump in the command zone probably, but like, maybe Rogthras is looking at this. I would even say even Niv Mizzet probably wants this, just to get Niv Mizzet out quick. It's really good at a common too. It's a 4 for me. I would want to just bump it up to 5 on principle, because I think this is so stupid. Like, I would not be surprised if it gets banned in some format pretty quickly. Like, and the other thing is, it has flash.
Oh yeah, I was looking at that immediately. I honestly thought it was a creature at first, because it's a
cockroach.
It's a cockroach.
Yeah. But the card itself is the camera on top of the cockroach.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It's not the cockroach itself.
The flavor text is funny.
Yeah, no one in New York was going to notice one more cockroach.
And then the little katana with the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I agree. I think this is a 4. I would say 5, but again, the Blue Farm, I don't think runs it. In Kennen, I probably don't run this.
Yeah.
I like it, but
4.5 on principle.
Yeah.
For a sewer valence cam.
Just silly.
And Force of Will, my Force of Will on on a common in the set, that you're gonna, if you go to pre-release, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get at least one copy.
Yeah, I think because it's common, it won't shoot up in price to crazy numbers, but I think for a common, I think this will be one of the hits in the set.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like buy a play set now, but
no,
you'll get one. Yeah,
you'll probably have it.
Like, they could have printed this at Rare, and I would have been like, yep, like, I get it.
I like it.
Yeah, 4.5 for sewer valence cam. Dream Beavers. Sorry, just the name threw me off. Dream Beavers, 1 black, creature Beaver Nightmare. Flying. When this creature enters, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life, and you scry 1. It's a 1/1. That much text on a 1 cost creature, like, it didn't even need the flying. Honestly, I skipped over the flying whenever I put this in the card. I think even whenever I was kind of like showing it off to Ghost, I even was just like, yeah, just on ETB, it loses life, gains life, and it scries 1. The flying also is super relevant.
Why is this flying?
Yeah. I mean, because they float in dreams, like
dreaming beavers.
Yeah, flying dream beavers. I mean, it's just a good card. I'd say it's playable in a lot of formats. Any deck where you can do a recurrence loop, like, I mean, it's no Gary, but I mean, any deck that runs Gary might run this as a backup, because you also scry. It's one of those cards that if you have a ability to flicker a creature infinitely, it'll kill the table. And also, if it's in your opening hand, you're like, yeah, I mean, it's black, and I get to scry, and also, like, I bring everybody to 39, and I get to go to 41, like, and then after that, I have a flying creature that'll get through. Yeah, like,
this is kind of a hot take, but I think for Commander, we haven't discussed it yet, but I do think for like pre-release, this is a 5.
Oh yeah, I mean,
this is good.
I'm putting as many copies of this as I can.
Everyone I can run.
I mean, I'm also running a Commander right now, just kind of on the side. Rocco's still my focus, but I'm running a Commander right now that cares about gaining life. So if I play this after I play my Commander, it's everybody loses a life, I gain a life, I scry 1, and then there's a trigger on the stack for everybody to lose a life again. So this thing immediately swings at all opponents for 2, and I get to gain a life and scry. Like,
that's nasty.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. Like, and then also if I have Essence Warden, it's 3. Like, I bolt everybody for 1 black. Yeah, this is dumb. I'll give it a 3. Like, it's always hard to because this is no Esper Sentinel, this is no Ragavan. We've not really had a good one drop in black, and I mean, I'm not gonna say that this is like the black one drop because Tiny Bones was supposed to be, and Tiny Bones doesn't really see play, so I think it's good. I think it might see some play. A very specific deck needs this, but I'll give it a 3.
I was gonna say it too, but I do think, and it's just because there's so many good one drops.
Yeah.
That I don't know what deck runs it for sure.
If I could point to a one drop in black that was better, I would probably give it a 2. But I just thinking about it, I'm like, well, if you're in mono black, what's your one drop that you hope for?
The new one. There's a new one that came out. It's I got the really pretty art.
Are you talking about the Tiny Bones?
No. It's I got it in the last set.
What does it do?
What is that crazy one? It gets 1/1 counters. I can't think of it. It's like it looks like a phantom lady.
Oh, so yeah, you're talking about the elemental from Lorwyn that it's a 7/7, but it comes in with 6 -1/1 counters, and every time a permanent on your side goes to the graveyard, it loses the 1/1 counters.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think that one's a little bit more specific for like Tyam. This one is like, I'd say about that level, like of value.
Yeah, I think you said a 3.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because that one at best it becomes a 2/2 when you crack your Lotus Petal. Like,
and I'm really giddy. Are you going to read the flavor text for this?
Yes. We've drained human life force for millennia. Then one day, turtles, delectable, will suck you dry and spit out the shells. Ghost is laughing. I don't get it. Let me read it again. We've drained human life force for millennia. Then one day, turtles, delectable, will suck you dry and spit out the shells.
What's the name of the card?
Dream Beavers.
Okay. I was just curious. It's just funny to me. I don't know.
If you guys can explain in the comments why that's funny.
I'll explain that.
Oh, weird. Chat has a bunch of like eggplant emojis for some reason.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah. Yeah, they're demons. The Beaver Nightmare, so yeah.
Somebody knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Shame on them. All right. What do we rate it? I forgot. It's a 3, a 2.
It's a 5 for the text.
Yeah. Dream Beavers, I'll just give it a 3.
Yeah, 3's good.
Yeah. Shredder's Armor, 1 generic and a black artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. Equip, sacrifice another non-land permanent, activate only once each turn. The reason I put this in is because it's a sorcery speed buff. So like you play your creature, you play this for 2, your creature immediately becomes a +2/+1. So like I like to use Tymna as an example. I'm not saying that this goes in Tymna, but Tymna becomes a 4/3, which is way different.
It's kind of silly, yeah.
And like for 2, and like permanently a 4/3 for 2. And then the fact that you can sacrifice another non-land permanent for free as a cost, so it's not able to be responded to. I think this will be really good in like decks that want to sacrifice their Rectors, decks that want to sacrifice their Protein Hulk, which, I mean, in Dina, it makes Dina a 3/3, and then I can, for free, sacrifice a non-land permanent, or I can pay 1 to use her sacrifice. So I don't think I'll be running it. I feel like if you're running like a Rector deck or, something like that, your commander probably destroy, like sacrifice. Like the only one I can think of outside of Rocco that runs Rectors and is in black is Tymna Dargo, and Dargo just sacrifices them on cast anyway.
This is
I'd put it aside for later. Like it's a key component in something.
in any sacrifice deck.
Yeah.
This is also an uncommon.
Yeah.
So like it's funny that I think the last 3 cards were all like not rare.
Yeah.
However, I always forget, and I know that you played Nadu, but I always forget that you can target the creature that's already equipped to equip it. So like
yes.
if I wanted to equip, if I just wanted to sack a creature
Mhm.
once per turn, I
Yeah.
could do so by just taking the creature and just destroying it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are confused about that because there is a 0 cost. I think it's Lightning Greaves that gives something Shroud. So Lightning Greaves, yes, you always have to target something different because you can't target the thing that's equipped to you because it has Shroud. But you can just equip to yourself if it doesn't have Shroud. So a lot of people will be like, well, you can't do that because of Lightning Greaves. It's like, well, Lightning Greaves specifically gives it Shroud. That's why you have to move it between 2 with Nadu. But anything else, it's just like, okay, 0, target. Yeah, I mean, as long as you have a creature out, you just start sacking your stuff. You can only do it once each turn, which, I mean, are cowards words in Magic the Gathering.
No, that's needed. Like,
Yeah. Cowards.
I can only imagine just being able to sack all of your stuff constantly would be silly town.
And the other thing is it's relevant because it's sacrificed another non-land permanent. So like there's quite a few we did see like braids decks whenever we were first playing that would run a whole bunch of enchantments that were like when this enchantment enters, draw 2 cards, and then when this enchantment is sacrificed, draw 2 cards, and there is no way on the card to sacrifice it. This would let you bring out that enchantment, sacrifice the enchantment because it is a non-land permanent. You get both enters and leaves. So like Corvold, for example, may run this so that you could sacrifice your prize statue and get 2 treasures right away. So you'd get one when it enters and one when it leaves. Like,
I do think all around it's good for Corvold. Does Corvold have the spot for it? I mean, I imagine because there's really not any top deck Corvold right now.
Corvold is more like land synergy now ever since the space station came out because squandered resources. Basically, when you get every time you sack a land, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. So you can very easily play a bunch of lands and then be like, I have 20 damage on board. Like, yeah, like
I do like it. You said a 2. I think 2 is probably where it's at. It's good to know that this is here. It's good to know it's not just neat. This is useful, and there's a lot of, especially in black, there's a lot of sack your creature, do some things.
Yeah, and usually, like I just say, like cards that go into like 2 or 3 are just genuinely good. Like this is more of a toolbox card of like it does so much. Like it's a buff for 2/1 and also sacrifices another non-land permanent. Like you'll want to know where this is whenever you start looking at commanders. I mean, is it gonna break a commander? Like no, but I mean it's a good toolbox card. Like
I agree with that. I think that it's also very relevant that you can cast it, get it, sack a creature immediately.
Yeah.
So it's immediate 2 to sack a creature.
Yeah.
There's a lot that, I mean, I've seen you use,
and then it buffs the creature too. Yeah.
I've seen you use some silly stuff to sack creatures as a cost, which is kind of funny.
If this was in red, I would be way more excited about it. Like, because I would run it, I would equip it to Esper Sentinel right away. Esper Sentinel would be a 3, so it'd be like, are you going to pay the 3? Yeah, 3/2. Flavor text: the Kuro Kabuto has been the symbol of the Foot Clan leadership since its inception over 1,500 years ago. And that is 2 for Shredder's Armor. Next card. This is, I think you could probably just throw your Force of Will down on this one. Splinter's Technique, 3 generic and a black, sorcery. It has sneak for 1 and a black. So at the cost of returning an unblocked attacker, you can search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. We've been getting a lot of 2-cost tutor to hand cards in the last couple set. In was Duskmourn the Haunted House set? The one where you could go get a demon, but if it's Delirium, you could just go get any card for 2.
Yeah, it's Duskmourn because it's not I always get them mixed. Karlov
Manor, because they're both houses. Like, which, I mean, 2 house sets in a year. What? Like, it was house set, cowboy set, house set. Like, I think this is really good. The drawback, of course, like you were saying, is it costs 4, so you can add Nas, but like you would have to really consider how bad you wanted a second tutor in your deck for 4 life. It's very specific when that tutor can be used, but I mean also when you start swinging in Blue Farm, I'm gonna start thinking like, oh well, yeah, I can let this Esper Sentinel through for 1, but like maybe I should block my 1/1 because instead that Esper Sentinel is gonna become a tutor, and then they'll replay it, and then Esper Sentinel will be back online if I want to do anything on instep. You know.
Also with Azula.
Yeah, Azula. This is go get
Thassa combo.
Two cards. Thassa combo. Yeah.
You get Thassa combo immediately.
Yeah.
For 2 mana.
Yeah.
And I think you get red. Doesn't Azula give you red or something?
She gives you 2 red.
So
yeah.
You get,
so I mean, if you have flash speed in combat, it's all right. Cool. Splinter's Technique. Go tutor 2 cards. All right. Cool. Play Thassa combo. Well, like this is a sorcery. Like you can play it in combat and just tutor twice, and then be like, all right, second main, I'm going to play Thassa combo now.
Everybody cool with it?
Yeah.
No, I think it has a lot of uses here. It sucks a little bit for this set because I can't be like, this is going into every black deck.
Yeah.
I do think this is one of those cards that this is a very viable option in general.
Yeah.
Any tutor is great. I do think Azula maybe is kind of like eyeing this.
Yeah.
It's like
Yuriko, like
yeah, Yuriko too.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you might want the Yuriko trigger instead, but still, I think this is a good card. Like one of the things that I always think about when I see these cards, and there's another one coming up where it's if I'm a player that has to play on a budget, but I'm gonna buy some cards in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all of a sudden I might have a 2-cost tutor now. Like I can't really afford a demonic tutor, but I can afford a Splinter's Technique. And previously I could never tutor, and now that there's a $5 option, like I can tutor, which is pretty cool. There are 2 cards in this set that kind of are worse versions of like very popular, very expensive cards. Which I always like to see because, then all the people that are kind of, need to be budget friendly have options, for their tier 4, tier 3 decks, but can still tutor. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I think that this is, I really do think that Azula plays this. With that being said, a 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think 4 is good. Like I think Azula immediately is just like, yes. Like
I mean it's like Azula's own personal tutor.
Yeah. It's a flash speed tutor. That's not flash speed because it's a sorcery, but like
yeah, I like it.
This is what I say to myself before every tournament as far as the flavor text. Possess the right thinking. Only then can one receive the gifts of strength, knowledge, and peace.
Not in a tournament because we're just like chaos.
Yeah. I go in with a good attitude, and then I get there and I'm like,
have like war paint on.
Yeah. I mean, awesome. Clown paint actually happened once. Like,
yeah.
Everybody's like, "Where are you playing Kefka?" And I was like, "No, just fun."
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a 4 for Splinter's Technique. Right away. So Raphael's Technique is the next one. It's 4 generic, 2 red. It's an instant. You can sneak it for 3. So at the cost of returning an attacker, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. This one I kind of waffled between just putting it in the fun cards and putting it in the actual review. I do think that this deserves to be in the actual review purely because of Azula, because you can, if you're trying to breach, you can wheel twice. Like,
yeah.
Now, if in Azula you wheel your Underworld Breach, it's kind of hard to get back. But I mean, I could see somebody playing this in, like, if you really want to go the combat route in Blue Farm, you could wheel yourself for 14 cards for 3. Like, you drop your hand if you don't care about your hand, draw 7, wheel yourself again, and like you would have the option of casting all of your instants too. That would build up your breach. That's really my only argument for it. 6 at instant speed, that's an optional each player may, is real bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Honestly, sneak for 3 also.
It's not great.
real bad.
I think it's always good to know that there's wheels because I've seen at the not the last tournament but the Dallas tournament a blue farm using I can't remember the other wheel, but
Yeah,
it's each opponent wheels and draws 5 or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Which whatever.
Yeah, and like one of the big things about wheels is you can be like, hey, this person is tutored so much, this needs to go through, and like clearly you want a wheel for your advantage, but like you can argue and be like, this person is tutored, we need to send that away, like this needs to go through or we lose. This one, it's just cool. It's also red. Like another thing that we kind of have to consider is like there are just times that like red needs to refill their hand. Like I was not thinking about it in Rocco, but like there's a lot of times where I just ditch my entire hand in Rocco, and I always have a lot of creatures. So like I would be cool sending a Mana Dork back or sending an Esper Sentinel back to just draw 7, and then maybe somebody that isn't gonna win needs a refill on their hand, and either they can push and draw counters now, or they have the counters to deal with somebody else. Like it's not the best thing that you can be doing, but I mean, again, the argument is, well, if a $300 Wheel of Fortune is out of your possession, and for some reason you don't want to play with proxies, or the tournament you're going to won't let you play with proxies, like this is a good budget option. It's not terrible. It's not the same as the wheel, but like we're talking about like on the scale of not a wheel is 1, being a Wheel of Fortune is 10, this is probably a 7, like, and it might be like $1. So
Yeah, I do think it's I would probably say a 2 if I
yeah.
had to say, and I would make that like a very strong 2 and remember that it's a wheel.
Yeah. And then the other thing is Rogsai. Like I hate to keep bringing this up, but Rogsai really likes wheels. You get to wheel at the cost of your own Rog, because you would send the Rog back probably. And then Rog would cost 2, but I mean, for another wheel.
It's the mana though. It's so high for
Yeah, you
Adnos.
can't add Nas with
You just kill yourself.
yeah.
I mean, if your plan is not Underworld Breach, was Necropotence.
Yeah.
I mean, Necropotence doesn't care about it so much.
Yeah, if you run Necropotence and Necrodominance and you've just said, like, for some reason in Rogsai I don't want to run Adnons anymore, like, this is an option. That being said, I've had to say a lot to justify this card, so it'll be a 2 for me. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's an option. Like, the fact that it is an option in this set is cool. Flavor text is just okay. It just says change of plans. But that is maybe Raul casts this when Raul flips. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 for Raphael's technique. Guac and marshmallow pizza. I think. Let me see. Okay, we're not in the. This is still main set. So guac and marshmallow pizza is a green artifact food flash. When this artifact enters, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Untap it, and then it has the food text of pay 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. The art on this is disgusting. I know that the fuzzy things are supposed to be marshmallows, but they look like moldy garlic, and then there's a big giant rat wrapped up in this avocado pickle and marshmallow pizza. Like, we don't use strong words on this podcast because it's family friendly, but this artist can find me out in the street. Like, ugh. Like, that being said, it's a flash speed green that untaps a creature and gives it 2/2. Like, it's no Legolas quick reflexes, of course, but I mean, if you're running Legolas quick reflexes in a deck and you want more untap effects, like, this is only a target creature, so you can't untap a permanent, so it's no God's Cradle untap or anything super like crazy like that. But let's say you're running Bloom Tender. All of a sudden, someone tries to target your Bloom Tender with a Bowmaster. For green, you flash it in. It becomes a 3/3. You get to untap it and maybe tap for 3 mana, and you have something to deal with the Bowmaster now. I don't really know. But both it being a buff spell and also like it's a combat trick and also it untaps something. So someone can be like, you're tapped out, I'm gonna swing Timna in, and then you're like, guac and marshmallow pizza, your Timna is dead. Haha. Like,
I don't know what justifies it being flash speed.
yeah. Like the flash speed is good.
But I like.
Yeah, why is pizza flash speed? I don't know. Like,
what are they throwing it? Is the rat just?
Yeah, it's.
I don't understand.
It's one of those things where it's like the card, the text on the card and the art are not related. Don't really make much sense. Also, the flavor text is "There is no fear in my heart. I will overcome even this challenge." And it's like it's guac and marshmallow pizza. Like why is he worried about like getting diarrhea or like
yeah, like I don't know.
It's like, do I say that every time I walk into Taco Bell? I don't know. Like,
that's funny. I do like it. I think that again to note, this is a common. Like I don't even think it's an uncommon. It's a common, right?
Yeah. I have to give it a 3. I
do too.
I don't know what commander cares about tapping and untapping. Like maybe Selvala. Like if you're playing Selvala, you want to untap it.
I mean, I couldn't be mad at this with Inkennen.
Yeah.
Do I think that it holds a spot? I don't know.
Well,
like
for me with Selvala, she taps for mana based on the biggest power that's there. So this untaps her and buffs something. So for green, you're basically getting 2 extra mana and getting an untap on Selvala. Like, if you're playing mono green Selvala, I think you're looking at this card. Maybe. I don't know. I thought maybe Dogthras would run it, but I mean, so far the Dogthras players are like, nah, we want things that untap permanents, not really creatures, which, I mean, fair. It's a 3. Art is really cool. I mean, I don't really necessarily want to see guac and marshmallow pizza for the next couple of years, but yeah.
I don't know if it. I mean, it's just so playable.
Yeah,
that's the problem with this. Is it's flash, it's playable.
It's another toolbox card.
Like, I mean, if I had Hullbreaker on the field, like,
yeah,
this is essentially tap birds for 2 in Kennen. Play this.
Yeah.
Get 1 mana, untap birds, pick up something. Something gets 2/2. I don't even know if I care about that, but
also at the very worst, someone targets your untapped birds with Bowmaster. Tap, play Marshmallow Guac Pizza, untap birds. Birds is a 2/3 now. You have mana to do something again. Like
I do forget too that it's also a food.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just go away. It's not a cantrip. It's like a little spell. It's an actual.
It stays. Yeah.
Permanent.
So like, if you're somebody that cares about permanents under 2, and this is a combat trick that will give you a mana eventually from Culling Ritual, or it'll give you life. Yeah.
Also, turn on your Mox Opal.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's an artifact.
Yeah, it's good. We said 3 or 4.
Yeah, I could give it a 3.5. It's there, but yeah,
3 definitely, possible 4.
Yeah,
but
I'd just say 3.5 average for guac and marshmallow pizza.
Heck yeah.
And then speaking of Culling Ritual, Party Dude, enchantment class for green. So for green, when this class enters, each player creates a food token, very relevant in CDH. You're forcing things on to another player. Food tokens are pretty safe. Like, yeah, you don't want to turn on somebody's Mox Opal, but I mean, if they're not running Cabbage Man, they just get 2 life. Thank Commander Council for there not being a Dockside. Can you imagine?
No, yeah, no.
Play green, Dockside count goes up 3. For 2, so that's 3. So you level up as a sorcery. That's 3 total to get to level 2. When an artifact an opponent controls is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. And then for 5 more, so 8 total, whenever one or more of your opponents are attacked, up to 1 target attacking creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So you could kind of play this in like a group hug deck where you could be like, hey, I would like to make your creature that's attacking this person that plays Adna as a +4/+4, like, because it's up to 1. You don't have to. In CDH, are we ever leveling it up to level 3? Probably not. But the reason I have it in is I'm really considering it for any deck that runs Culling Ritual, because it's green, give everybody a food. The food will eventually benefit you because you're running Cabbage Man if you're running this. And then if you're able to level it up before you do a Culling Ritual, every one of those artifacts that you gave a player is a card draw. And also any of the artifacts you hit off Culling Ritual is a card draw. Because while Party Dude does get killed during the Culling Ritual, whenever all of those enter the battlefield, Party Dude does last known information as far as like where it was. So it does see all of those artifacts hit. So let's say there's no artifacts on the field at all. You get 5 because Party Dude was cast. So you get your own Party Dude, your own food, and then each of your opponent's food. So that's 5, unless they sacrifice it or something. And then you would draw 3 at minimum. In CDH, you're probably completely refilling your hand, and then you have 11 to 15 mana, which that wins the game. One of the rounds that I won last weekend was I had nothing on field outside of a mana dork, and I was able to Culling Ritual because somebody had a Forbidden Orchard, and I was like, I actually might put Forbidden Orchard in my deck. But I was able to Culling Ritual, and this was in a 3-pod, and I had 11 mana, and I had a Green Sun Zenith and a Crop Rotation, and I was like, oh, Green Sun Zenith goes and gets Protein Hulk, Crop Rotation goes and replaces my land that I've already tapped and gets Phyrexian Tower. I sack the Protein Hulk, I win. Are we cool with that? I just think this is kind of nutty for Culling Ritual, and I still maintain that Culling Ritual is like one of the best spells in the format for CDH. Like,
definitely,
if you're playing a black-green deck and you resolve a Culling Ritual, like, I would say over 50% of the time you're winning. Like, if you have other colors, maybe not, but I would say decks that are black-green that are running it pretty much just win, because every card in your hand is castable. You just have to figure it out. And then, if your hand goes from 2 to 8 because you resolved a Culling Ritual, like, I'd say you're winning 90% of the time there. Like, if you're not winning, you just have the worst luck, or you didn't build your deck very well.
This also gives am I understanding this correctly, on the second mode, whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card.
Yeah.
So that's every time one is?
Yeah. So if someone goes to Underworld Breach combo, you have to draw a card every time they play Lineside Diamond, which, I mean, is good and bad, like,
I mean,
like, you're not going to deck yourself, but
probably not.
Yeah.
But I do
you
think
will be the first one that they try to brain freeze, though.
Depending on your colors.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, this is very relevant because every single time someone has a treasure, because it's not whenever a non-token artifact an opponent controls, it's whenever an artifact. So every time somebody cracks a treasure, that's a card draw for you. So, like, it's very playable.
Does the treasure go into the graveyard?
Yeah. All tokens hit the graveyard and then they fizzle. Yeah.
Okay. This is good.
Yeah. Like, it's good for Culling Ritual. I wouldn't necessarily put it in a mono green deck, but like, if you have a Timna Dargo at the table, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna be drawing a lot. Thank you. If a Smothering Tithe resolves, like,
I think a 4 is solid for
that's actually real bad.
Yeah.
Whenever an artifact an opponent controls,
it's an infinite.
Yeah, so like, every time they make a treasure, you have to draw. So they would be like, I crack my treasure, and I'd be like, I draw. They'd be like, because you draw, I make a treasure. I crack it, you draw. They draw you out.
I think they would draw you out before, No, you could respond.
They would float infinite mana. Like you could respond to the triggers, yeah, but realistically, in that situation, they would look at you and go, "I'm gonna float infinite. I'm gonna get infinite. How many cards do you have in your deck? You're gonna draw your entire deck, but like eventually, I will draw you out. But like, if it's not your turn and you run the instant speed remove target artifact or enchantment, at that point you could be like, okay, well, basically I'm gonna draw until I have artifact or enchantment removal, and yeah, you'll have a lot of mana, but
Yeah, I was gonna say 4, but
a
that's
little
kind
bit
of.
scary. Yeah,
I think you have to run some enchantment removal for smothering here.
yeah. I mean, if you're running Golgari, you're running quite a bit of enchantment removal.
Yeah, it's possible.
But that being said, like, you have to run it. Like,
You have to have something to stop the smothering.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just die.
I'll give it a 2. I really hate when I see draw card and it's not May, because like it avoids situations like that. But yeah, I think that's a pretty bad drawback. So I'll give it a 2. Am I going to be brave and put it in Dina? Yeah. I gotta be honest, but I also have a lot of things that can just sacrifice permanents. So like you could be running Shredder's armor and then be like, someone just be like, oh, hey, I'm going to resolve a smothering tithe. And then you're like, oh no. Like,
You just sack it. Yeah.
yeah. Like you would be forced to pay the 2 whenever you drew the card. You can only do it at sorcery speed though. So in your draw step, they would get you. Like, yeah, that's tough. Like you have to have a backup plan. So I'll give it a 2 for
I
party
honestly
dude.
don't know if because it's forced if it's a 4 or a 2.
Yeah.
But I do think we'll be on the safer end and say 2.
Yeah. You could essence shatter it and give it to all of your opponents, and
A silly town.
yeah, you're not doing that in CDH, but it's still funny. I don't know if it would be leveled up if you gave it to your opponents, though. I think it'd be a new
I don't
copy.
think it.
Yeah. So when you play this, just be real careful about leveling it up. Like,
Yeah.
to me, I would level it up, and then I'd cast the culling ritual, and they'd be like, "I'm gonna counter the culling ritual." It's like, good luck. If anybody plays a smothering tide, they just win. And they'd be like, maybe I don't counter this then. It's like,
Maybe.
yeah. It's like, well, we need to get rid of this. And the smothering, like, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say the culling ritual is the best way to get rid of it, but like, if you're going to counter my smothering ritual, you better have a chain of vapor into the flood mob.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2. I think it's like some fun politics, but yeah, it's a 2 for party dude.
It's crazy that it's green.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense it's green. It's crazy that it's in green.
Yeah, I don't know why green is the food color, but it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now we did the cards that we think are CDH playable. These are going to be the CDH playable commanders. So Leonardo the Balance, 3 generic and a white. Legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle. Whenever a token you control enters, you may put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Do this only once a turn. It has Wooburg, so white, blue, black, red, green. Creatures you control gain menace, trample, and lifelink until end of turn. Partner, character select. Why are we reviewing this? It's basically kind of Najila. Not Infinite Combat's Najila, but like kind of Najila. But it costs 4, and you can have a second partner. So like I know a couple of the people that play Najila have thought about moving over to Leonardo, because they're like, I don't really want to do infinite combats in CDH. It's kind of hard to get through. Like, I'll have a big scary commander that I can play, and then I can play the other little ones as like my main goal. It's Wooburg. Any of the partners that you add that are character select partners, which is only the ones in the set, like immediately, those are basically your commander, and then you have the big scary one as backup.
I do think there's like 1 or 2 that are okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it costs 1 less than Kenrith, and then you get a partner. So, I don't really have a lot to say about it. I mean, default command princess Wooburg partner.
I don't even know what I'd rate it. Maybe good to know it's there.
I rate it 4. I mean, it is character select, so it is only the other Ninja Turtles and Splinter. So you only have 4 other options for your commander, but like it's good, it's relevant. We'll go over those partner commanders. There's really only 2 that I think are CDH playable. It's really hard to give this one a rating without looking at the other 2, but I'd give it a 4. It's just Command Zone Princess, really, like Crom. Like, yeah,
like I
you can
said.
play it, but it just sits there. Splinter the Mentor is 1 generic and a black legendary creature, mutant ninja rat. It has menace. Whenever Splinter or another non-token creature you control leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen token. Has partner character select. Mutagen tokens, I believe, is pay 1, tap, target creature gets a 1/1 counter.
Maybe it's something with one once.
Activate as a sorcery, something like that. I mean, if you have something that can, it seems abusable. Like if you have something that cares about whenever creatures leave the battlefield, make an artifact. You know, if you care about 1/1 counters, like there is a evolution witness that whenever you put a 1/1 counter on it, you get something back from the graveyard. So if you have a way to constantly cast a 1-cost creature, you could. And you do have to have an extra mana, but like you could just continue to rotate that 1 cost, get a mutagen token, put a counter on it, get it back. You would need to, it would have to be like a colorless creature or like a Memnite. Like you sack Memnite for a treasure, get the evolution witness, it gets it back, you play it. You sack it for a treasure or 2 colorless, you play it, you go infinite colorless, and then you just get it back over and over and over again. Like you can do silly stuff. Is it super CDH playable? Not really, but then whenever you think like, oh well, this is a Wooburg and I have a little 2-cost commander that always does stuff, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
I'd say this one's a 3, but I mean this is hard to judge because it's like, well, it goes with Leonardo. Like, yeah, like every one of these is going to go with Leonardo probably.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Splinter and the next one could be teamed up for a green black deck, but are those the best commanders to play Golgari deck? Probably not. Splinter the Mentor, just I think it's a 3. It's just generically good.
I agree. 3 is probably where I'd put it.
Like I can see what it does is what it does. Very interesting. Yeah.
I wish it was food or any other token really. I think the mutagen is kind of eh.
Yeah. This is Michelangelo the Heart. Trample. Raid the Fridge. At the beginning of your second main phase, if you attacked this turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature and create a food token. I think this is the one you're probably going with if you're playing Wooburg. You also can do both Splinter and Michelangelo because Splinter has menace, so he gets through a little bit easier. And then you put a 1/1 counter on your evolution witness, get something back, and you create a food token, which can be turned into a treasure eventually through Academy Manufacturer or the Ninja Pizza, or it can be relevant with Cabbage Man. Like, does this really replace Kenrith? I don't think so, but there might be some people that are like, well, I like Kenrith, but I don't like that I don't have like a low to the ground commander that turns my spells on right away. So like maybe I will swap. It's an option. I would just say to me, I think if you're playing Kenrith or Najila, you might be looking at this and considering it, but otherwise they're kind of just mid-range, like still playable, but mid-range.
I think this one I like better than Splinter, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, mutagen, and it's mainly the tokens, right? Like the mutagen tokens, unless it's a really good new mechanic, stacking on top of a mechanic that's been established, like foods, is probably better in general.
There's a lot of 1/1 counter things. Like they're not really played as much as in CDH, but like Kenrith does abuse that a little bit because Kenrith can get to the point where it's like, well, if I put a 1/1 counter on this, it becomes a Bloom Tender. So like, I can keep creating. Like it works with Agatha's, it works with Evolution Witness. Like there are cards that are really good that care about 1/1 counters. Um, that being said, a trample commander that still puts a 1/1 counter on for free once a turn and you create a food token, pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I think they're all just generically playable. I'd give it a. It is cool that we could see like Leonardo and then like a couple of different partners for it, and they all be 5-color decks. Like,
Yeah.
I think not to poo poo on 5-color decks, but they're boring to me. Like they're just generically good, and like that I do appreciate the people that put them together. Like we have a person in our group that's a Kenrith player, and they're like one of the best Kenrith players out there, and like him looking at all of his cards and like assembling all of these like cool combos where he's like, well, I have Agatha, like the actual Agatha out. She's gonna make my my fairy mastermind tap for blue. Everybody draws a card. I have a smothering tithe out. I'll just kill everybody like that. And I'm like, that's cool. I wouldn't have seen that coming. Or like, that they're cool. Like I'm sure they're fun to play because you're constantly like looking at your hand and like kind of put together a puzzle every time. We had talked about this like off the podcast, but like we used to play those like Yu-Gi-Oh games that it would show you a hand and it would be like win this turn. Like that was the puzzle, and you'd have to figure out like how to put all of your resources together to like literally win that turn. And like I imagine 5-color decks are like that. I imagine they're fun to play. They're just not fun to play against, in my opinion.
I agree.
So I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're making a deck for yourself, but I'm just like, this is a little boring. It's not flashy, and I like flashy. So
very much likes flashy.
Yeah.
Very much likes. What does that do?
Yeah, you're dead. And then I thought we had another one. We should.
I do think April's in the list somewhere. I don't know why they got kind of mixed up. This is a weird issue.
There should be I don't know. We'll figure it out. Next card is Courier of Constables. Sorry, a little thrown off. This is now the just fun cards. So if you stayed for the review of just like the cards you're probably going to see in CDH, you're welcome to leave or please just leave it running in the background on mute.
You want to go get your water. This is a good time.
Do you want to go get your water? This is a good time. These are just fun. They're not necessarily CDH playable right now. I don't think we'll rate them just because they're fun, but I just wanted to talk to them and put a little radar on them. Like always, we hear you guys' feedback. There's people that watch the review because they're like, I just want to see the fun cards I can put in my high power deck. This part's for you, and also people that just like to see the fun cards. So this is Courier of Comestibles. It's the Uber Eats driver. Like, I'm just gonna say that. It's one generic and a green creature, human citizen. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a food card, reveal it, put in your hand, then shuffle. If you don't put a card in your hand this way, create a food token. It's a 1/2. So if you have a card in your deck that you care about that's a food and you want to go get it, it goes and gets it. If that card is in your hand, it still makes a food, which is pretty good. The only reason I bring this up is there is a indestructible food from Edge of Eternities, and there's a Witherbloom combo where you play Witherbloom, and there's a green spell that copies itself. That I think it's 3 generic and a green, so it's like not cheaper than Chain of Smog, but it's destroy target artifact. The owner of that artifact can copy the spell after it resolves. So if you have an indestructible artifact, you target it, try to destroy it, you can't. You get the copy, you target it again, and it just infinitely goes off for Magecraft. I've never run that combo just because like it's a lot of setup. I have to run a dead card and a 4-cost sorcery and Witherbloom. Like Chain of Smog, yeah, you're kind of like putting your putting yourself out there by being like, I'm going to discard my entire hand. And after that, I really hope you guys just let this resolve. This one doesn't discard your hand. You can keep your Veil of Summer and Veil of Autumn, but it's a 4-cost sorcery. So in my opinion, if you're playing those colors, like your window is your window. Like you just kind of hope it goes through, or, you know, whatever. But, you know, the fact that that indestructible food is tutorable now might make it a little bit better.
So for me, I was gonna rate this like a 1.
Oh, we're not gonna rate them just because they're fun. Yeah.
But when I read the flavor text, this is a 5.
Oh yeah, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Don't they say late za in the movie though?
No,
They say pizza, the full word. Mandela effect. Ooh. Yeah, this is like one of the first lines the Turtles ever say in the live action movie from the 90s.
it's one of the most quotable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny because like no pizza place does that anymore. Like you don't get free pizza if it's late. Like that was one of those things that happened whenever we were kids. That is like a past thing.
it's a relic. It's like
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. So last night I was watching a review of all of the Sam Raimi movies, and they talked about was it Spider-Man 2 where he delivers the pizza and he's like, pizza time, and it's like memed a bunch. They were talking about, they're like, yeah, no pizza places does that in New York. Like we live in New York and no pizza place does that anymore because it's so congested. And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy that that's something that like ball pits and McDonald's, like they don't exist anymore. Once COVID hit, every ball pit was removed from every McDonald's. Like,
It's crazy.
and then when McDonald's did it, everyone followed suit because they're like, yeah, they're bacteria, you know, pools. Like,
I also imagine it costs quite a bit to like clean them and stuff.
yeah, you have to. So, not to tangent too hard, but there are people that do cleaning services that they have a vacuum that sucks every ball into the vacuum. The vacuum pulls the ball through and then washes them with soap, and then it spits it back out, and they have like a tube that dries it and it goes back in.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so they drain the entire ball pit and then put the balls into a bag, and then they're just like, okay. And I think that had to be done at least once a month. But like the employees also, at some places, the good places, whenever they shut down, there was a rake that they would rake the balls to make sure there were no dirty diapers, because it was pretty common that like kids would get in, poop themselves, drop their diaper, and that diaper would stay there all day.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. And then the parents would be like, where's your diaper? And they're not getting in the ball pit. They can't fit in there. So
Yeah.
yeah. You guys are learning a lot today.
Still family friendly.
I have more stories about ball pits. We'll leave that for the end. that'll be a bonus. If you guys want a bonus episode about all my knowledge on ball pits, hit us up in the comments in the Discords. I'll make a bonus episode about ball pits. Ghost will not need to be present for that.
I probably won't. I'll listen to it. I mean, I probably heard it too. We have some long drives sometimes, and some of our conversations go off.
This is Kari, Future of the... Oh, sorry. That was Courier of Contestables, if you were curious about what we just reviewed. Kyrie, Future of the Foot. One generic, white, black. Legendary creature, human ninja. Sneak for 2 white and a black. So this can be in your command zone and sneak, which, I mean, the other one could too, the white one that we reviewed, but this one is a little bit funnier. So whenever Kari deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If her sneak cost was paid this turn, instead return that card to the battlefield. This is just funny. Like, I mean, white, black with this effect is probably not a CDH commander, but it's funny to have a commander in the command zone that you're just like, I'm going to swing with this Esper Sentinel. And people are like, yeah, maybe I'll let it through. And it's like, if you do, I get my Razaketh immediately. I have 4 mana. And then they're like, oh, dang, I guess I gotta block this Esper Sentinel with my Bowmaster. You know, like,
Yeah.
and I will say this one is not as good as maybe one of the other ones, because like everything is visible with Kyrie. Like people can be like, yeah, you've got 4 mana, your graveyard's common knowledge. Like people can ask to look through it, so they can be like, hey, if that hits, he's reanimating like this crazy thing. So I mean, it's kind of cool to like swing and be like, you better block it. Like put the pressure that everybody can't be greedy. Like everybody needs to lay a creature every turn or I'm getting this big thing is kind of a cool idea. How do you get that big thing into your graveyard to begin with? Entomb. That's about it. But the art is really cool. I really liked it because it's just, a cool ninja girl with Shredder's helmet. And then I showed it to Ghost, and Ghost was like, yeah, but in the blade, you can see the reflection of all the turtles. Like they're literally waiting to have a fight. And I was like, oh, that's so cool.
I do believe that and I may be wrong, but I do like Ninja Turtles quite a bit. I believe that this is Shredder's daughter.
Yeah.
So, fun fact.
She's in the new beat 'em up game too as a playable character. Like not new, it's probably like 5 years old, but the arcade game, they just put her and the rabbit dude in, which I thought was cool.
Oh, they got the rabbit too?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, no. Was Kyrie? Kyrie's like one of the first bosses.
She's the second one.
Okay, maybe.
Or the what do they call it? Ship containers or what?
Did he have multiple daughters? Because there was his daughter that like turned good against him.
That might be the same one.
Can you fight Kyrie with Kyrie? No. We're okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking about the game that's the roguelike, like Hades, and the beat 'em up is a different game. Yeah. I mean, all the games are great.
That was one of my first video games ever. Was the arcade, the one that was like at all of the pizza places.
I almost put in the electrified seaweed card just for flavor. Like it's a bad card, but I was just about to be like, yeah, we're reviewing it. The art's cool. I'm not going to read it. Bye. Yeah.
We're just looking at it.
That's not podcast friendly though. Could you imagine if like you're listening to the podcast? I'm not even going to read this card. The art's really cool. If you're listening to us, too bad.
It's seaweed. There's some electricity.
Yeah. It's pink seaweed with electricity.
Reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah.
Next card.
Yeah. Speaking of next card. Continue. This is one that I feel like everybody is, if they only watch the first half, are going to be like, why didn't you review Continue? So I wanted to put it in. One generic and a white instant. Choose up to 4 target creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them to the battlefield. Yes, if somebody resolves a Toxic Deluge and you have 2 mana up, you can bring your stuff back. So many of the removal options in CDH are not send to graveyard. You want to exile things, you want to return things to hand. Killing is probably the worst thing you can do to a creature in CDH. Worst thing is just leave it on the battlefield. But as far as removal, killing is your least favorite way to get remove a creature, because then you'll trigger dying effects and stuff like that. We do have a Winota player that is going to put it in because they're like, well, now I can aggressively swing with my my creatures, and if they get killed on main 2, I can just return them. I get that.
I think this is really good tech.
Yeah,
I think I get where you're coming from, but I do think that you'll see this played. I think that this will see play. At least in the next 6 months.
So I just don't know what deck it goes in, because like I was thinking, I almost put it in because I was like, well, maybe we'll see Najila more, but it's like, all right, Najila swings, you put her in the graveyard, and then you try to cast Continue, and then someone counters it, and you're just like, all right, well, Najila's gone forever.
Well, I mean, counter it, I guess. Like the thing is that this is one of those spells that saves your resources. And for instance, there's times where somebody will be like, well, I'm gonna swing Ragavan at this person, they're not gonna block because it's Kennen or whoever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, tap for 2, continue on your instep.
Yeah.
Cool.
But then if they counter it, then that thing's gone forever if it's your commander. Like that's what I worry about.
Yeah.
Because it's locked in the graveyard, because you only get the option on the zone change. So like,
yeah. It couldn't be Kennen in and of itself. It would have to be
like you could block with Bloom Tender and then continue your Bloom Tender back, or
it's also, it can't be in a Kennen deck, like because it's white. At that point, Kennen is just a value.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe decks that try to build like Sisay. Just my the way I look at a deck when I'm building is always, why do I want to put a card in my deck that assumes that I fail? You know, like, and like two to just bring one creature back. You know. Now I will say, if like you're playing Razaketh and you sack four creatures to Razaketh and one of your tutors is continue and your other tutor is mana to cast continue, then you get all four back and then you can keep tutoring. That sounds pretty good because you're controlling that. um I think the use case for this is very, very specific to where I kind of like exiled it to like the high casual tier 4 decks.
Yeah, one of the things to remember too is in CEDH especially, there's not a lot of kill cards.
Yeah.
I will say that if you drop a bowman and your bowman gets pinged by another bowman, you
Then
can
you
continue and then
yeah.
it goes back.
Well,
which
yeah. Well, whenever you had mentioned, sorry, I interrupted you. Were you done?
I mean, I just feel like I feel like there's a lot of utility for it. That's my thing.
Yeah, whenever you had said Kinnan and I was thinking green, blue, white, I was like, this does actually seem pretty good in Aang, because like with Aang, you play Aang and then you bring those clones out.
Due to state based.
And then state based, you get the ETB from the clones, but then you kill them and they go to the graveyard. So if you whiff but you have a continue in your hand, you can cast continue and be like, okay, this turn I sent 3 clones to the graveyard. I ended up whiffing. I'll cast continue. I'll get 3 of those clones back, and then I'll get back my once per turn creature, or like 1 spell per turn creature that you guys stopped. Now I have 3 more Aang triggers. Like, we good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could see it there. With that said, I know that deck is pretty popular, so I could probably have upgraded this. So I think we can rate it. Like I'd give it a 3.
I think that this is a 3 for sure.
Yeah.
And possible 4, but I think that you always want to know that this is around.
Yeah. Because
I mean, very playable.
Up to 4 target creature cards with no CMC requirement is pretty good. Like,
yeah, and it doesn't say they had to. There's no specifics on how they got to the graveyard, other than from the battlefield.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't entomb something and raise it. Yeah,
but I mean, it doesn't matter if it was sacrificed or whatnot. I think Razaketh was a good.
Yeah. Like you can purposefully sacrifice your own stuff, and like you could have Soul Warden out, and you could just be like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice 4 things, get 4 treasures. With 2 of those treasures, cast continue. Yeah, like maybe one of those things is E-Witness, and then you just loop that combo of like, I'll get E-Witness back, I'll get continue, I'll sack all 4 again, cast continue, get with the E-Witness ETB, get continue, sack all 4 of them again. I net 2 treasures every time, or and like maybe one of them like gains life somehow, and then you're like if you had E-Witness, Essence Warden, and then 2 other creatures, you could continually loop that over and over and over again. Yeah, I could see I'll give it 3.5.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. Irma, part-time mutant. This was another one that I was like, this looks really fun. I think it's a little bit like Winmore. So Irma, part-time mutant, is 2 generic and a blue legendary creature, human mutant shapeshifter. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Irma becomes a copy of up to 1 other target creature you control, except her name is Irma, part-time mutant. She has this ability, put a 1/1 counter on her. She's a 1/1. We saw Chameleon come out in the Spider-Man set, and this is basically Chameleon, but costs 1 less, and that card was pretty playable. It does not ETB, though, which is a big difference. So you're probably wanting to copy Krark in Krark Takashima, maybe in Blue Farm you're copying Timna. I know that Timna Shakashima is a deck. It doesn't really get played much anymore, but with Irma, you could potentially have 3 Timnas. You know?
That's nasty.
Yeah. I know that we went to the Dallas 10K, 20K. I don't remember. 10K.
I think it's 10K.
We talked to the guy that everybody was kind of hyping his deck up, the Jin deck, the Ghost of Tunisia PlayStation Secret Lair.
Yeah.
Irma seems like it would be fun because you could get 2 Delanies in that deck. Like,
we met with that person almost immediately at entering.
Yeah.
And like he was like, "I'm just glad to be here. This is the deck I want to try to run." And
yeah,
I
finished 8th.
Yeah, up in the top 10.
Yeah,
I was like, "Jeez, man."
It was kind of funny because like we know the guy somewhat. Like we've met him at several places, but it was kind of interesting because he showed up with you know how people like show up to Friday night like Commander games and they have the entire toolbox where they have like 8 of their decks in it. He showed up with that and he took the toolbox around everywhere. Like that was his deck box. And I was like, does he have other cards in there? Like, I don't know if like that's okay. You know, like, but I mean, it was a convention. So there were a lot of people there for like signing stuff and yeah.
Well, so they're also very, they also sell a lot of cards. I think is it Hunter Burton? When I went to that, that's where I initially met the person.
Yeah.
And playing a really fun deck of. I almost changed mine to play that Esper deck, which is Master of Keys.
Yeah.
And
he's a fellow jank enjoyer. So. But I mean, finished
finished
8th out of 199 people with a commander that no one ever has tried to run, I believe, in a CDH tournament. Which now people are. There's a couple people in our group that are just like, I just never thought to abuse combat damage, triggers like that. That's awesome, because it's double strike, so they're gonna get through, and then you'll get 2 triggers. Yeah,
I'm not sure if they're a listener to us or not, but I would say that it was kind of funny in the tournament because every time I looked and like we met eyes, it was
having a blast.
Just the biggest smile you can have, like ear to ear, and like thumbs up. He's like, "Yeah."
Oh man, if you listen to our podcast, please join our Discord and play with us on Spell Table.
Awesome.
Yes, please.
I was kind of upset because by the end of it, we were pretty tired. And,
oh yeah.
They were
8th, so they played 2 more rounds than us.
Yeah. And I was exhausted, and it was just like, oh, let's just go.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish I would have been up and been like, good luck.
Yeah. Oh, we also had a very long drive back, and he worked the next day, and I was wanting to go home.
But yeah, no. This card is good. They're always going to be good. The clone effects that take away the name.
Yeah,
is nasty.
The drawback of this one is you don't get the ETB, but it costs 3 instead of 4. So
there's a lot of I mean, Hullbreaker Horror is usually not some Unagi. There's Cabbage Man.
Yeah, I mean, you also, whenever we saw this card, you went, "Oh dang, it's a human," so you can't hit it on cannon flips.
I was so excited. Yeah. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because it could have been, worst case, a rock. Or not a rock, a dork.
Yeah.
Best case.
Second Kennen.
Well, I don't know if I would get double Kennen triggers.
The mana would trigger. It would, yeah.
So I would get...
So every time you tap something for mana, you get a trigger from Kennen, and you get a trigger for Irma. Those are triggers. Everybody that plays CDH just kind of accepts that they resolve right away. But like technically, someone could stifle your extra mana from Kennen, which wild. No one's going to really. But like
that's interesting. Though.
Yeah, because it's whenever. So anything that's when or whenever is a technically a trigger that resolves on the stack. But just speed of resolution. Almost everybody just accepts that it just happens.
Common knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy though.
Yeah.
Like. It could also be a second Badger Mole.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, these are all, other than Kennen, non-legendaries. There's a lot of legendaries that are, I mean, Deadpool is a crazy,
That one's ETB though, unfortunately. Yeah.
but it's the same
But
in the fact that it can copy
oh yeah, yeah.
almost.
You could take somebody's Kennen and then play Irma, and have two Kennens, one being a Deadpool, one being an Irma, in a deck that could not play Kennen. Like,
That's funny.
yeah, this is just fun. I could see it being a CDH staple, but it's just so janky. I just wanted to put it in the fun stuff.
It's a 3 for sure.
Yeah. Swift Demise, 2 generic and a black instant. Swift Demise deals 1 damage to target creature, then destroy each creature you don't control that was dealt damage this turn. It's just a cool card. I remember whenever I was playing casual, like the field wipes that were field wipes with extra steps were really fun. So like you could play something that deals a damage to each creature and then play Swift Demise, and it's a field wipe but not for your stuff. So I thought that was cool, but I mean it's not CDH playable.
No, I mean, yeah,
It's fun. Yeah.
I don't think so either. I think that it's just an in general. I mean, maybe in draft this is probably good.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a fun comeback trick of like you swing in and somebody's like, yeah, I'll block, and then you're like, haha, dead. Like,
yeah,
it's like your other thing that didn't block takes damage, and then the thing that blocked takes damage. So for 3, two big giant things die. Yeah, it's just fun.
the art's really cool.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the turtle shell are commander, so you won't get it in draft, which makes me sad. But
Oh
it would be
yeah,
fun.
I forget about that.
Yeah. Casey Jones, back alley brute, 3 generic and a red. Legendary creature, human berserker, menace. Whenever Casey Jones attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. When you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature you control, Casey Jones deals that much damage to target opponent. I mean, it's from what people are saying, it's all will be 1 on a creature, but I mean, I think Obnixis has evolved to the point where it's not really running what all will be 1. I mean, maybe it costing 4 on a creature and being kind of the same, kind of different would change things. I didn't feel like this was a main set review. Like it's cool. It gives a 1/1 counter on a target attacking creature. It has menace, and then you have to ping the opponent though. Like you can't just start ping their stuff down. It's fun. That's kind of all I have to say about it. I don't think, I know some people were saying that's like kind of fun with a Minota, but like, yeah, like,
I think there's way better humans.
yeah,
I do think Casey Jones is one of my favorites in the Turtles.
yeah. No card really. Every card text that I read, like this is the closest one to like kind of matching Casey Jones' attitude, but like I don't really feel like they matched his attitude on the cards very well.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one. April O'Neil, Human Element. This is another one that I almost tossed into the review. It's 3 generic and a blue legendary creature, Human Detective. Whenever a player casts a artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you create a mutagen token. It's a 2/5. It's when a player casts. So with this and Urza out, every time a player casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you get a blue, basically. Much better Cabbage Merchant, but requires Urza and her out. And then also, she is kind of like Bergie on your turn, because every time you play an artifact, instant, or sorcery, you get a blue back. That, you know, it's better than Bergie because it's a blue that sticks around forever. That being said, she costs 4. You know, like
I thought this had partner or character select.
oh yeah, I wish.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is good to. But
Yeah, if this had character select, I would be losing my mind about yeah.
that's why I had mentioned April, and when I looked at it, this is the one I was looking at. And when I looked at it, I was like, it doesn't have that.
Yeah, this is another card that the Urza players are just like, yeah, this will be cool. Yeah.
I agree. I think in Urza this will be be pretty good. Um, I don't know why I thought it had partner.
Yeah. But yeah, fun. It's so specific for Urza, and I think even then at 4, like I think it's one of those, not really a trap card, but like, if you have 4 mana and the thing just makes more mana, you'd try to rather have card draw, which I mean 5 mana is a card draw technically in Urza, but you have to cast it right away because it just shuffles, plays the top card. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't think it's gonna be something that we just see take over the format. So that's why it's here.
No, I don't think so either.
Same thing. Mona Lisa, ever adaptable. 3 generic and a green. Whenever a player casts a creature spell, you create a mutagen token. It's a 4/4. Creature spells not super common in this format, and you just get a mutagen token. If it was a food, maybe different.
I think even at a treasure would. Yeah.
So when people, it would be really tough for a treasure because any food chain deck would be like,
Oh, that's true.
yeah, like I feel like mutagen is a little bit fair because it you can only activate it as a sorcery. I would be okay with a food because it's like, okay, well, you get 100 foods and then you've got 50 mana if you have Cabbage Man out. Like, cool. Yeah, like, it's the worst token you could get. Like, yeah, we could argue that I don't know, is Academy Manufacturer, does it care, or does it only care when you make a food? Let me look that up.
No, it's a food, treasure, or clue, I believe. And then you can make any of those.
Yeah, if you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, it's like create one of each. I mean, there are those spells that whenever you make a token, instead of making a token, you make a copy of something the first time. So like, I don't know if that makes any difference.
Makes it really janky.
Yeah, the other thing I didn't think about with April was Marnius. Every time somebody casts a spell, that's technically a mutagen and a card draw. Maybe we see Marnius back a little bit more.
Just realized on the card there's a cat eating pizza.
Yeah, there was an ice cream cat that I almost put in here, but it's just not very good. Next card. Turtles in Time. This is a sorcery that's 5 generic blue. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into their library. Then each player who does draws 7 cards. Exile Turtles in Time. It's 7. It's a Cyclonic Rift that lets you redraw 7 and shuffle your library in, but it's only for creatures. I don't really think it's playable. It's cool. Maybe some commander would want to play it, but I mean, I kind of put it up there with Secrets of Waterbending from Avatar, where it's like it's really cool, but when are you gonna play it? I don't know.
just not enough.
Yeah,
it does bring back a lot because I think that was a arcade game too.
Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time. The flavor was really good. You can tell that the people that really enjoyed Ninja Turtles created the cards and the flavor text because the all of the enchantments, like Party Dude or Ninja Teen or all of those, it's all of the words from the song where they're like, they're party dudes, they're ninja teens, blah blah. So it's like each one of those put into an enchantment that's like a class for each color, which I thought was cool. There's a lot of good flavor wins in this set. I think if you're somebody that hasn't checked out the cards and you go to play draft on pre-release, or you did play draft on pre-release by the time this comes out, there's going to be a couple times where you like opened up the cards and you like cracked a smile just because of the flavor. But if you weren't expecting a marshmallow avocado pizza, like you probably cracked a smile. But some of the cards, like I think these also have the Spider-Man problem of like, oh yeah, this card, it's cool, it has a cool name, and then like the text is like, it just does this random thing. Yeah, like that was the problem I had with Spider-Man, where it's like, oh yeah, this is a cool card. Why is Venom a Jun commander and it and it plays with the graveyard. I don't know. You know, like I feel like Venom should steal your opponent's stuff and bring them under your control, but you know that's not what it did. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Turtles in Time. It's cool. I think this one kind of matches the flavor of the idea because it's was it Time Twister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it plays. It's a cool pun. But yeah, the other one's kind of, you know, they just do random things like Splinter, make a mutagen token. Okay. You know, like, and this is, you know, another they're cool but rude. They're ninja teens. They're a party dude.
Yeah.
This was another one that we thought about putting to the main set. One generic and a red gain next level as sorcery to add this ability. So by default, when you attack, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Pretty good with Green Goblin, other things that care about looting. Level 2, whenever you discard a card, this class deals 2 damage to each opponent. So if you're going to wheel everybody out, you could eventually start killing everybody. I mean, if you have shouldered and this out, it's everybody takes 4 damage on for each card that gets wheeled. And at level 3, when this class becomes level 3, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, shuffle, then discard a card at random. So we have a 6 cost sorcery speed gamble that does other stuff, which I mean, pretty cool. Gamble is one of the better cards in the format, but also, you know, if gamble cost 6 mana, would you play it anymore? I don't think so. I think this is cool for Green Goblin, things that specifically want to discard, but I mean, if you've discarded 20 cards on Green Goblin and you haven't won, like, was this really the thing that pushed you over, or could this have been you know, a Necro Dominance, or, you know, some other card that might have pushed you there better? I think it's cool.
I do know because I've played some Spell Table lately, and I've played a few Green Goblins, and they use an enchantment that does very similar. Like it lets you discard a card and draw a card in your upkeep or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Very 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 similar. And I mean, maybe the redundancy is because it's also low to the ground. I don't think it costs very much.
Yeah, I was about to say the backside of Burgy is really good because it's discard a card, exile the top 2. You may play them this turn.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
But anyway, like I think it's right there.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's just not enough knowledge about Green Goblin to be like, this is for sure going in.
Well, also if level 3 and level 2 were swapped, I would say this would be a main set playable because then it's 4 for a gamble effect instead of 6.
It's true.
Yeah. So and like still other good things, but the fact that gamble is stapled to the level 3 is kind of where I'm like, I mean, this is probably a card that you would put in a tier 3, tier 4 deck and be like, well, it's a fair gamble. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, you're also not repeatedly gambling with this with Underworld Breach. Like,
no, I mean, you do. I don't know. You get some stuff.
Yeah. This next one, I just thought he was a cool idea for a fun, like tier 3, tier 4 commander. So Michelangelo Improviser, 3 generic and a green, legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle. He has sneak for 2 green. Whenever Michelangelo deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card and or land card from your hand onto the battlefield. It's a 4/4. It's kind of Kona, but like sneakier Kona. But Kona is any permanent. This is only creature card and or a land card. So like you get 2 options, which is cool. But you can't put out those big giant like green enchantments or artifacts or anything like that. It's only creatures and lands.
Do you get a land and a creature? Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's and or. So like if you only have a creature in hand, you can. If it was just creature and a land card,
you would need both.
You would need both. But because it's and or, you
that
can
makes
do
sense.
both. So you could basically just have a green mini deck where you just have a lot of like low to the ground creatures, and then you have a bunch of like big giant creatures, and then Michelangelo just stays in your command zone, and you never cast anything on main 2 and you just or main 1, and then you just move directly to combat, and you're like, all right, moving to combat, block them all. And then, like, if anybody lets anything through, then you always have the threat of Michelangelo for 4 on the sneak cost. Bring him in. You know he's going to be unblocked. So unless they happen to remove him, between blockers and assigning combat damage, you're going to put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield and or a land. Like,
That's silly.
I think it's just funny. Like, if I went against this deck, it would mess with my brain so much because I'd be like, I don't really want to block with my Cabbage Man this like 2/2, but like if I don't block and he drops a Galta and drops his entire hand, like what do we do? Yeah, like, because sometimes it's like you could look at your hand and not have anything to drop outside of a land, and then you're like, yeah, I'll swing, and then you're like, I don't want to use Michelangelo on this. I'll just pass. Like I'll drop my mana rocks and stuff and pass. But the idea that you can just be like, oh yeah, I don't do anything on main 2. I just keep my mana up and swing. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think it's very, very interesting as far as what it can do. I think you probably run Kona too.
Yeah, I was about to say I probably am going to craft this card on Arena and then just swap Kona out and then put Kona in the 99 and then put Michelangelo in and just be like, this is fun. I mean, clearly it'd be more fun with 4 people, but I mean, I'm not going to build this deck and then play against Kinnan and be like, oh yeah, you went on turn 3. I almost had Michelangelo and I could have dropped a Galta, and with the Galta I would have had a lot of cool stuff and passed.
That's funny.
Like I don't think it's there as far as competitive because it probably wouldn't hold up. But I mean, it'd be a really fun like tier 3, tier 4 deck to play with your friends like casually.
Yeah, I agree.
Bebop and Rocksteady. I actually was going to be selfish and put this in, but it's 1 generic and then hybrid black-green, hybrid black-green. Legendary creature, Boar, Rhino, Mutant. Whenever Bebop and Rocksteady attack or block, sacrifice a permanent unless you discard a card. So it's a 7/5. So it's a creature that's a big giant creature that you basically hold up as a threat, and everybody's like, if I attack, are you going to block and like sack your elf, or are you going to discard a card? I think Protein Hulk decks will like this because if you draw Protein Hulk, you get to discard Protein Hulk whenever you attack, and then you can go to main 2 and reanimate it and do your combo. Or if you have Protein Hulk on the field and you have no other sack outlet, you can move to attackers and swing with a 7/5. And then on declared attackers, sacrifice it, go do your combo. I think it's pretty good. I mean, having a 7/5 that you can just constantly threaten on the ground attackers with seems good. And then also, like, at the same time, it's Bebop and Rocksteady. Like, how cool is it to play Bebop and Rocksteady?
It's
like,
super cool, and it has a nursery rhyme as the well, it's a rhyme.
Yeah.
Not a nursery rhyme, but
yeah, I was reading it and I was like, I don't know if I'd read this again. They'll beat you with fists, with a bat, with a knife, so don't try to stop them. Just run for your life. Get set and get ready for Bebop and Rocksteady.
It's like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like a song in the show, but I mean, that's an awesome rhyme.
I don't think so. I think they were just like, what do we put here? I've got it.
Yeah. I think this one is playable enough that I probably could have upgraded it to main review, but I mean, I don't want to have recency bias. Like, I'm real high on Dina right now because I went undefeated in Swiss on it. But like, I think it's good. I don't think it's CDH good, but I think for very specific decks, it's usable. I mean, maybe instead I would rather just have Shredder, but the fact that I can discard Protein Hulk with this card and also sacrifice Protein Hulk with this card makes it very flexible. And the other thing is it's hybrid mana, so all of my mana can be used to cast it. There's times where I'm like, I have an excess of green mana, I don't have any black, and I'm locked out of Dina, and I could tap 3 green to get Bebop and Rocksteady, and since it's a legendary creature, my Mox Amber would be turned online, and then I would have access to black, which is good.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think I think the flavor is good. I think the ability is decent. The mana value is right where it should be.
Yeah.
I do think that the like who necessarily cares about the discard in those colors, and the power and toughness are just crazy down.
A lot of those, I mean, you're in if you're green black, you're a reanimator deck more likely than not.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
you want to be able to discard. So like you'll just be like, all right, guys, don't swing at me. And then they'll swing at you, and you're like, oh no, well, I'll discard my protein Hulk. Like, and then now I'll have a 7/5 that'll just rock your card. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of damage,
yeah.
man.
I mean, also like not there have definitely been games where like I've been at a table and someone was like, I really just don't want to tie, and then I'm like, well, cool. I've got a flying 5/5 death touch that basically all creatures lifelink. So, I'll hit you for 5, I'll hit you for 7. I've got a protein Hulk I can't sack, which I mean I would be able to sack with Bebop and Rocksteady. It's like I'll hit you for 6, and I'll eventually do 40 damage to you on my own. And then when you're not in the game, we can all talk about a tie. But I mean, if we get to the point where I've hit you and killed you for 40 damage, I'm not tying
No,
anymore.
you're probably way ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just a fun card. I guess I could rate it just for Dina 3. Whenever I get it, I'm not 100% confident that I'll make room for it, just because like what that deck really likes is there's so much redundancy in Golgari. Like there's 3 reanimates, there's 3 entombs, and one of the entombs cost 5. So, they're not the best entombs, but it does match the theme, and it does let me discard, which I don't really have a lot of things that let me discard. Shifting Woodlands is in this color as well, and Shifting Woodlands, like you want to be able to discard stuff to get Delirium so that you can start transforming Shifting Woodlands into Protein Hulk, or you could discard a Necropotence. You could be like, well, I don't have 3 black, but I can discard a Necropotence, and I do have 4 green, so now I have a Necropotence. It's a tap Necropotence because I use Shifting Woodlands for the mana, but Necropotence doesn't care if it's tapped. I'm going to pull 30 off of this.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here. We've known each other for a long time. I think that if there is an alternate art that's really cool,
oh yeah,
you're going to find room to get this in there. I honestly think if you get this specific art, you'll probably put it in, just because.
If I could get this signed.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's cool. I probably will make room. I can't fully commit, but like you're saying, I might just make room because it is Bebop and Rocksteady.
I don't know if you'll keep it forever.
Yeah.
But I definitely know I'll see it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's so cool.
Yeah. And that is it for our card review. It was kind of a long one, 2 hours and 17, but I mean, we've been trying to combine all sets, and this was 3 full sets combined. That being said, it was 30 cards. Yeah. Like I would say if you're somebody that doesn't just want the set for the novelty, you could probably skip it. If you're just like, all I want to do is play CDH, I don't really care to do draft or pre-release, like, is there anything that I need for this set? If you're playing Urza, yeah, maybe go to the pre-release. I think for the most part, this seems like a pretty stacked year. I probably won't be buying any collector's boosters of this set.
I can't promise that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just saying, like, I love Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and not to poop on the Spider-Man set, but this feels a lot like the same people that did the Spider-Man set.
Pretty close.
It's there. I think they did a little bit better of a job, but I mean, why does Bebop and Rocksteady sacrifice a creature, discard a card? I couldn't tell you. Like, to me, Bebop and Rocksteady should just have to attack every combat and have trample. Like that feels like what Bebop and Rocksteady should do. But I mean, it's fun. I mean, I definitely, looking through the set, I caught myself cracking a smile multiple times just reading this stuff. Yeah, so it's fun. If you like to have fun, play the pre-release. We're playing the pre-release.
Oh,
We're
for sure.
making an event out of it. Am I going to go hard into this set? No, but I mean, it'd be kind of nice to save some money for like the new Strixhaven set. I will say I'm pretty excited about the new Strixhaven set. Like, there is going to be another Dina in that set. It's not great, but there is going to. Strixhaven was just such the mystical archives were so cool. Like, I know I'm gonna spend quite a bit of money on Strixhaven, so I'm preparing for that with this set.
I will say with this set, there's a lot of crazy reprints. I mean, Dark Ritual got a reprint. Food Chain has a reprint.
Amazing Underworld Breach. Really weird Undercity Sewers that has the Last Ronin, but it's a land. So like I keep thinking it's a creature.
I'm gonna want anything Last Ronin. I love.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen the Breach yet, which I'm gonna look that up here in just a second.
Cool. So it's Raphael's the red one, right? I don't know why I can remember. Right. Yeah. It's his fist, and it's just his fist is the full frame, and it's him just like reaching out like from the ground, and it's like, you know, his tattered fist. It's so cool. Like,
I'm excited for a lot of the. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if I can say I'm not going to get any of the collector's packs because there's a lot of nice reprints.
The reprints and the special arts. So they did like chibi baby Ninja Turtles for some reason. Man, I did not like them. Like, I was just like, I get that there needs to be grungy things printed and there needs to be cute things printed. I get it, but like, you know.
I'm all about it. I like chibi art to a degree, and I like Ninja Turtles. So
yeah.
Will I use them? I don't know. They'll probably just be in a box, but I'll be glad I have them.
Well, the music has probably been playing us off for a cool little bit. So thank you for watching this review. If you made it this far, just make sure you're subscribed, please. Leave a comment, leave a like. If we missed anything or there's something that you're super excited for, let me know. If you're also a ball pit enjoyer and you know a lot about it, let me know.
Such a specific.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Yeah. But this is the end of the podcast. You can stop listening now. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you guys.
Bye.